Hello and welcome to Community Crossroads. I'm Carolina Astrain. Today we have a very special show planned. We are talking with State House Representative Geanie Morrison, and I'm honored to do these interviews with her. Welcome, Ms. Morrison.
Thank you. Thank you. So wonderful to be here with you.
Well, we're so lucky to have had you serve as our State House Representative for a long time.
25 years.
25 years. A whole career dedicated to public service. And I just want to go through your career. Let's start with the early years when you first ran. What was that like?
Never had planned on doing it to begin with. I was recruited to run, but I've really enjoyed it. I've loved it, meeting all the people, love working with people, love working with our constituents in the district, and just have really enjoyed the opportunity and feel so honored to have been able to do this.
And your path to politics, it's unique. You started as a homemaker, doing volunteer work here with the Junior League.
Right.
How did the conversation, how did that, step into politics happen? Was it a mentor for you?
No, it really wasn't. I mean, interestingly enough, what really got me involved was back when Ronald Reagan ran.
Yeah.
And I was a stay-at-home mom. I had 2 small children, and just listening to what he had to say about the changes that need to happen in our community. And so I really, that's when I first got involved. And then I had some friends that were working on the governor's campaign that were good friends of mine too, a few years after that, and just got involved with Republican women, and felt like it was something that we all needed to see what was going on and do our part. And so it was just a gradual thing through the community that I did that.
And our area at one point, it was more blue than red. When you stepped into your role, was it turning more red at that point?
You know, when I was first elected, there were statewide that were Republicans, but not locally. All the local offices in all the areas that I represented when I first ran were all still Democrats.
Oh, wow.
A lot of very conservative people. And so at that time, when I was first elected in my first 2 sessions, Speaker Laney was the speaker. Of course, he was a rural Democrat and just wonderful. And so it was totally different then, because everybody just kind of merged together. There were a lot of really conservative people that were Democrats too. So it was something that wasn't really divided very much.
And looking back now, working with Democrats, and now you still do work with Democrats,
absolutely,
but all of that experience, how has that informed the decisions that you've made throughout your career?
Well, I think just the wonderful people, working with them. I know politicians get a bad name, but I will say maybe, 5% that come in thinking that they're going to do something and it's for their own good. There's very few of that, and just wonderful people. You have to, it's really a volunteer position, because you only get paid $600 a month before taxes. So it's never been intended to be something like Congress where it's a full-time job. And so you just have to be passionate about your district and the people that you've worked with and represent. And that's where all of these people come from, is they're very interested in wanting to help their communities.
And your family is supportive from the very start?
They were. I would not have run if they were not. Both of my children were, one was in the Air Force at the time, and my daughter was just finishing college, and she had graduated. And so it was a good time for me that I could put the time into it. But no, I would have never run if my whole family had not supported me.
It's hard to do without their support.
Absolutely. Well, and it would be very difficult to have small children to the time frame, because it's a lot of time in your district. The sessions are only every other year for 140 days. Of course, that's not the way it's been the last several years, but you spend a lot of time in your district and traveling. And with 6 counties, it's a lot of travel. A lot of ground to cover, and we have
a lot of ground to cover too.
Yes.
But we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back, and we'll learn more about the career of Miss Geanie Morrison. We're continuing the conversation with State House Representative for District 30, Miss Geanie Morrison, and we're talking about her career throughout the years, 25 years.
Yes, 25 years, and the longest serving Republican woman that's ever served in the Texas House so far.
Amazing.
There have not been a whole lot, though, as you know.
Well, it says a lot about being probably one of the only women in a lot of rooms with those conversations. So I personally look up to you so much, Ms. Morrison. Politics aside, I don't pick a side as a journalist, but I have a lot of respect for you.
Thank you.
And the Baby Moses work that you did to help children from falling into, the gaps as far as abandonment goes. Talk to us about how the Baby Moses initiative started.
It was very interesting because it actually was my very first legislative session. And there was a gentleman that came to Toby Goodman, who was chairing the Family Issues Committee, and he had rewritten most of the juvenile laws over several years. He's a great guy, and I was on his committee. I'd asked to be on that committee because I've always worked with children in the community, and that was a passion. And we had Dr. John Richardson came and was with his attorney from Fort Worth and was looking for someone to look at this issue that was happening, and we were not even aware of it because the only way, there was no social media, of course, everything was by the newspapers or your news. And so they came and talked to us about it, and he was very concerned about babies being abandoned that he was reading about. And he gave his time. He was a pediatrician. He also worked with the Edna Gladney adoption home, free to take care of the babies. He loved children, and he was a great man. And so he talked to Toby, and he said, because he was from Fort Worth also, and said, we've really got this issue. Do you know of someone that might want to talk about it? And Toby knew that I'd worked with children a lot here in Victoria, and he said, I know someone that I think that you need to go talk to. So he came and talked to us. We had no idea, so we just started searching newspapers, my chief of staff, and looking, and there was a huge issue in Houston at the time of abandoned babies over several months. And we started just reading the newspaper articles and whatever, and we talked to him. He said, let's work on this, let's see what we can do. And so people never think that one person can make a difference, and John Richardson started this, and because of what he did, we were the first ones to have the legislation. We passed it that year. Governor Bush signed it into law, and our phones started ringing immediately after it happened. We had no idea it was a problem all over the country. And now, after many years of working with other states, now all 50 states have some sort of legislation to help with baby abandonment. And I will say, it's popped up again recently. There's been a lot going on in Houston this last year, and I've done a lot of media with the Houston area recently to try to help get the word out again that if a mom is desperate and cannot let anyone know she's pregnant, has a child, doesn't know what to do, that she can go to one of the sites and leave her child with a fireman or a hospital, and that's 24 hours EMS. And she will not be prosecuted, because in the past, if you gave your child up, you were prosecuted also.
So that would deter people from going through official channels.
Absolutely.
And endangering children even more.
Absolutely, because it's not just for the baby, it's for the mom. You're saving 2 lives, and there's something going on with her that she can't let people know, and sometimes it's just a matter of not knowing and being scared.
Well, it's a tremendous legacy, and it's something that people, evidently there's still a need for those resources. Well, we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back, and we'll continue the conversation with State House Representative Geanie Morrison. And we're back with State House Representative Geanie Morrison, here to talk to us about her illustrious career serving us for 25 years now in the Crossroads. So we touched on the Baby Moses legislation, and now I want to switch gears and talk about higher education. And starting off with Victoria College, which is one of the most reputable colleges, community colleges in our state.
Yes, it is. You know, one of the oldest and great reputation. I mean, if you get a community college degree here from Victoria College, you're going to do well no matter where you are. And it's just such a good community school. And several years ago, as you know, we did the downward expansion with UHV. And so there could be a 4-year institution also here in the Crossroads area. Both of the institutions, Victoria College and UHV, it just is really wonderful to have them here because you have to go almost 100 miles to go to another university. And so, I mean, we're in the Crossroads, and this is great, and you can stay here in your community in the surrounding areas and get a good education.
And it took a lot of leadership, a lot of work, a lot of diplomatic work to get the community college and UHV to come together.
Yes.
To work on a prosperous future for both institutions, because we're kind of unique in the sense that our community college is much older and more I guess more in place than our university. Our university is wonderful, but it came second.
Right.
So what was it like working with the two institutions to ensure both could get those core classes, that tuition for core classes, and also just help each other in the long run?
Well, of course, the first reaction was, oh my goodness, if we have a 4-year institution, is that going to hurt Victoria College?
Right.
And so, you know, we looked at all the demographics, and actually it was going to be great for both institutions. It did not hurt Victoria College at all. I mean, actually it grew, and there's such a great basis there, and they have so many other degrees. You don't have to have, every child does not need to have a 4-year degree, but they need to continue their education. Great jobs with certificates too. And so it's just complementary. Victoria College and University of Houston Victoria complement each other because you get a great education no matter what you want to do. And it was an issue. We had to, you know, work together and say, no, this should help. And we looked at other community colleges and similar institutions working together. And it's just been a great partnership, and they do work very well together.
I know at some point there was a conversation about Texas A&M coming in, and I know you're a part of the Aggie community. Are you?
Well, my family's Longhorns, but the Aggies are very near and dear to me. And I will say, you know, John Sharp and I,
that's right.
John Sharp has just done a fabulous job as chancellor, and of course he was state rep here many years ago, and then he was in the Senate, and then also he was the comptroller. And so John was involved in politics for so long, but he has just been a fabulous, done a great job at
representing
Texas A&M and all of their institutions. I've loved working with him, and we did some really good legislation last session for the smaller schools in all of the different institutions, not just the large ones. And John's the one that started that, and we worked together to get that done.
Well, we're going to take a quick break. We'll keep talking about higher ed. We'll be right back after this break with State House Representative Geanie Morrison. We're continuing the conversation and reflection on State House Representative Geanie Morrison's career in politics. Geanie, I was so shocked when you said you weren't running for re-election, but it's always good to make, you know, pathways for new leadership. But we're so thankful for all the work you've done for us here in District 30. Let's go back to 2017. I struggle to say that because it was such a traumatic year.
Right.
But talk to us about the work you did with our surrounding counties and with Victoria on recovery after Hurricane Harvey.
Right. I mean, that was just a nightmare for our communities because I was representing Aransas County and also Calhoun County and Refugio County at the time, which, you know, dead on hit, and Victoria. And so immediately, you know, we started getting together and working with emergency management. And I will say we had one of the best here in Victoria. Everything that was put together and the people that got together and worked for the whole area. It was not just for our area, but for all of the counties was fabulous, and it was a model. It really was. It was a model for our state, and the continuing, and it has never gone away. I mean, it's still happening. You still see the scars. There's all the things going, but it was just such a huge tragedy. But everybody really reached out. We were working so hard, and then Governor Abbott put together a group to see, okay, we did a really good job. We've not had a disaster like that in a long time. What did we not do that we could do better? And so we went around, and he had this group get together and ask everyone, let us know. And so there were like 45 different suggestions to the governor's office. And then that next legislative session, we worked on all of those. And Speaker Bonin put me in charge of getting it together. So we took all the bills, put them all into bills, and I gathered together a group and said, anyone that wants to come and help and sponsor one and run, and we ran with it. And it was amazing, the support that for the next disasters, all of these new things were implemented, that everything was done really well, but that you can always do better. And it had been a long time since we had a huge disaster like that. And you still see people hurting from it. It's been a long time of trying to get people back whole, and they still have issues.
It was a total reshuffling of businesses, so many restaurants lost, and then COVID was a whole nother thing.
COVID, yes.
But I think lessons from Harvey help us with COVID?
You know, I think just looking at things we put together, COVID was such a different thing because it was something we had never experienced before, of having things shut down like that. And there were a lot of businesses, there were a lot of things that we did to help them though. I mean, as far as helping to keep the businesses open, there were a lot of things that were protections, some things that were misunderstood, and we worked for those. And you know, we helped businesses stay open and do some things during that next session to help them that they could do business in a different way too. So that was another huge tragedy that happened to our whole United States. But Texas dealt with a lot of the issues and helped, but it still hurt a lot of businesses.
Definitely still hurt a lot of businesses, and I'm just thankful that the first responders on the state and local level, anytime there's a threat of a storm now, it's not uncommon to see firefighters from other areas, and that's a good feeling. Well,
and we just have such a great group of people that work together. I mean, all levels of elected officials and emergency management. I mean, they were just phenomenal. And Nim Kidd, who is in charge of TDM, I mean, anything you needed, you just called, and they had people that could supply it. I mean, it was another one of those things that everyone worked together.
Yeah, it's good to see that. All right, well, we'll be right back after this short break, and we'll continue the conversation. We're going to get a little glimpse into the future of what Ms. Morrison has planned. State House Representative Geanie Morrison. Geanie, it's such an honor to talk to you on your way out of the legislature, but that doesn't mean you're just gonna go on vacation the rest of your life. You're still gonna stay active.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I love this community. I love the people I've represented. And just feel so honored to have had the opportunity. Now, I'll stay very active in the community. I'm not going anywhere. I mean, there was a rumor, oh, she's leaving, she's going to Austin. No, I'm staying in Victoria.
You're not running for mayor though, right?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Official on the record.
On the record, absolutely not. No. Dwayne's doing a great job. But no, I mean, I will still be very involved in the community, looking forward. Economic development is one of the issues. I'm newly on the board of Victoria Economic Development
that's a great
board, and now that it's regional, so it hits so many of my counties. And but no, you know me, I will still be very active in the community and be out there working with people, and looking forward to a little time off. You know, the last few years have been full with sessions, you know, that went all year. Never ending. I mean, the last legislative session went into mid-December. And it's only supposed to be 140 days, and so the last couple of sessions have been very long. So I'm just gonna, you know, get my house in order, basically.
See your family.
See, yeah,
make it
right,
for the
right.
holidays
Go do fun things with my friends that I haven't been able to do in a while. And
that's right. You mentioned you're going to start playing bridge again.
I'm playing bridge again. I used to play a
Yeah.
lot back in the days, and so I'm playing bridge with a good group of friends and just enjoying being able to go do other things that I've not been able to do in a while.
If people want to reach out to you, how can they get in touch?
You know, I still will have on Facebook. You can do that. You know, of course, I don't do Facebook a whole lot though. But yeah, just reach out to me. I mean, I'm still, you know, got my same phone number, and just let me know if you need something. And we are still going to be operating our office through Monday before the swearing in the next day, and so we're still answering the phones. If somebody needs something right now, we're still rolling until next Monday, and then we'll all be around. And I have to say too, Susan Rodriguez, who has been my district director the last couple of years, has just been fabulous. And yeah, I won't give out Susan's number though.
I'll keep that to myself.
Right, exactly. You keep it, Carolyn.
Well, we're so thankful for all the work you've done over the years for the whole district. It's been a changing district throughout the years.
Yes.
And just serving as an inspiration to women, not just in politics, but you know, women that work, and women that stay at home, and to children. You know, you've served so many children in our district. On everyone's behalf, I just want to say thank you.
Thank you, Carolina. It's been a pleasure, and like I said, I'm gonna continue on. There are things that I'm gonna be involved with.
Well, we're gonna stay tuned.
Thank you.
All right, well, that does it for this week's Community Crossroads. Y'all stay warm out there. We'll see you next week.